Hello and good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here for your update on Hurricane Beryl. Beryl is now a hurricane and is expected to become a major hurricane over the next couple days, threatening the Lesser Antilles, particularly the central and southern Lesser Antilles here with a direct impact. Now would be the time to start preparing for a major hurricane landfall in these areas, as well as another potential storm behind it, which also could become a hurricane. Let's take a look at all the details, as well as all of your weather and tropics. Let's get into it. And yes, we could be looking at this hurricane making it into the central and western Caribbean towards Jamaica, and eventually the Cayman Islands and the Yucatan, Central America. So taking a look at infrared satellite view of Hurricane Beryl here, you can see the core really starting to come together here. This thing's going to rapidly intensify. And as you can see, the high cloud tops are just towering on this system. So this system is going to go through a massively rapid intensification over the next 2 to 3 days. So we're going to start off here with our HWRF, our hurricane model. And let's take a look. This is the satellite, simulated satellite here. And this definitely is going to make a lot of people nervous because this is going to become a classic buzzsaw. Hopefully everybody is preparing. This is what we're here for, to keep you safe. And take a look at this as we head towards July 1st here at 8 a.m. This is definitely looking like a classic Category 3 hurricane here with this really well-defined eye just south of Barbados and then moving right over St. Vincent, just north of Grenada and south of St. Lucia here. So major impacts. This definitely becoming that classic buzzsaw type appearance here as we continue on through the first into the second. Look at that. Yeah, these intensity scales here, we're talking about 120, 125 mile an hour winds, gusts to 150. It's possible this could become a low-end Category 4. This is by July 2nd at 8 a.m. And look at this. As we continue to move this off to the northwest, you see that it's heading just south here of Haiti and Dominican Republic. And then Jamaica is right in the path here. It will go through a little bit of weakening by this point. You see the eye becoming a little bit bigger here. But look at that, passing just onto the north side of Jamaica. So definitely, this is a little bit north of guidance, but this is something we need to keep close watch on, and eventually the Cayman Islands. And if you want to get a sense of the structure of this storm, let's zoom right in on it here as it moves through Barbados. Look at these towering cloud tops here. From a side angle, these highest cloud tops into the red and the darker red colors, showing a strengthening ominous storm, a buzzsaw once it gets south of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands here. You can see this thing is going to be a record breaker for this time of year. And as we pummel off towards the northwest here, towards Jamaica, you can see even though it does weaken here, it's definitely still got a massive, well-defined structure in place on its way to the Cayman Islands. So overlaying our future radar here with our isobars, you can see as we head into Monday morning, we're talking about a 970 millibar hurricane Category 3 at 8 a.m. just south of Barbados here, and then 968 millibars. So this thing will be intensifying as it heads through the Lesser Antilles here. This is 11 a.m. Here's St. Vincent. Watch how it moves right into St. Vincent during this time. 966 millibars at 2 p.m. on Monday afternoon. This thing continuing to move towards the northwest. 952, 952 millibars here by 2 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Here it is just south of Puerto Rico. This is where it's becoming its strongest at 944 millibars, potentially a Category 4. We'll have to see. And then this thing continuing south of Hispaniola towards the 3rd. And Jamaica, this is 5 p.m. on the 3rd, Wednesday. So this is when conditions really start to go downhill for you. Yes, it could be down to a Category 2 or low-end 3 by this point, but still, this is going to be a tremendous hit to you, and I would continue to prepare for this storm even as far west here as the Cayman Islands for the 4th. So if we take a look at our GFS model, there's been a lot of changes with this model. GFS has become more in line, as you can see, with our other models, the European and the hurricane models, showing a landfall right in, there it is, just south of Barbados and right just south of St. Vincent there. So really right down the center of guidance here as we head throughout the early part of Monday, July 1st, and then buzzsawing towards the northwest. Now, as you can see behind it, there's our next storm. showing up a little bit further to the north. This could be some better news here, as before we were worried that this was going to fall right on its heels. Well, technically it is. You can see here by the 3rd, this storm becoming potentially a hurricane right in line there with St. Lucia. Now let's go over here to Beryl. As we continue to go out here in time, the GFS now has the worst side of the storm impacting Jamaica here on July 3rd, Wednesday at 5 p.m. So all the models are really honing in later Wednesday for Jamaica. So if you need to prepare, now would be really the good time to start if you haven't already. And that continues through the 4th as it starts to move away towards the Cayman Islands. You can still see it has a pretty well-defined eye here. And then look at this, the Yucatan by the 5th here. As we get into Friday, next Friday, 5 a.m., looks like we could have a landfalling hurricane here right around Cancun. And then watch how it starts to bend to the north here, because at this point, the high-pressure system is way far to the east here. And that allows this system to come maybe a little bit further to the north, at least here on the GFS model. And as we continue to go out here in time, could this become a threat to Texas? It's possible. Yeah, you definitely need some rain, but wow. In the form of a major hurricane here, this shows a major landfalling hurricane right around July 7th here at 2 p.m. So this is something right after the 4th of July. We have to keep a very close watch, and then it goes inland towards San Antonio, and this kind of scenario would just inundate the area as it just sits there for days. Now, as we back up here to our previous storm, our second storm, coming through the Lesser Antilles a bit further to the north near Martinique, just south or north of St. Lucia, south of Guadeloupe here. And then that heading towards Puerto Rico. Look at this towards the 5th. Because as you can see, GFS is now indicating a quicker retreat of our big old Bermuda high to the east here, which would put Bermuda potentially eventually in its path here, but definitely Puerto Rico here. Now watch this as we go out here in time. There it is towards the 6th, coming around the periphery of that big old Bermuda high. Now here's the thing that I'm a little worried about, because during this time, yes, the high does start to come back towards the east, which is some good news. Technically, that would be good news for the East Coast, but in this scenario, it might not be, because the big wild card is how quickly does this high-pressure system build back in? Now, you do have a storm along the U.S. East Coast, which could work out in our favor here, but timing is everything, and you see this thing kicking off to the north. This could allow it to actually make a clean exit. But please, if you live along the East Coast, stay tuned. So if we take a look at our European model here, if you've made it this far, don't forget to smash that like button. Question or comment, I love to read your questions or comments. Take a look at this. This is the European model right down the middle of guidance. So there's not much guesswork here in the European, showing a major hurricane approaching July 1st at 11 a.m. So right around Monday, late morning, early afternoon, Barbados, St. Vincent, Grenada here. These are the islands that are going to be impacted. St. Lucia as well. Watch out. Get prepared. I know a lot of you in the comments have said you're getting very nervous. Definitely get as prepared as you can. That way, if something happens, you're more prepared. And this storm is going to continue to strengthen here into the Eastern Caribbean as we head through the 2nd and here into the 3rd. Just heading south of Haiti and Dominican Republic. And look at this. The European model is actually strengthening this a bit. Right here is Jamaica. So I know you need the rain desperately in Jamaica. However, let's see how this plays out. It looks like the European is making a direct landfall on Jamaica before slightly weakening it. Cayman Islands. I know many of you have been asking Cayman Islands, what is going on? Yeah, you're likely to get some significant rain and wind out of this as well. At this point, it may be weaker, so that's probably better news for you. However, it's likely this could re-strengthen. These usually do, and then towards the Yucatan towards July 5th in the evening at 8 p.m. And then re-emerging into the Gulf, and look what the European does. An exact similar landfall as the GFS. So the models are really honing in on a solution to these storms. And unfortunately, yes, we will have to watch this next storm following on the heels here. You can see July 2nd. Could this be potentially Chris? We'll have to keep an eye out. European is a little bit weaker with this storm, but still pretty strong. Either a strong tropical storm or hurricane when it comes through here on the 3rd and the 4th. So literally these are only a couple days apart. So this is terrible news, I hate to say. But as we head towards the 4th into the 5th, European keeping this slightly weaker and further to the south towards Jamaica towards the 6th. And then heading south of the Cayman Islands with this second storm towards Belize, Yucatan Peninsula, Honduras, and then plenty of tropical moisture heading west. So this is where the European with our second system differs. The GFS and the European are very similar when it comes to Beryl, but GFS is further to the north with our next system, and then, of course, the European is further south and west. And then as we look behind, we have another strong tropical wave towards July 9th here showing up, and then a really big one out here. So watch out for this. So if we take a look, thanks to Tropical Tidbits, for our mid-layer dry air analysis. Let's look at this. There is Beryl pretty much unaffected by any of this dry air from the Saharan dust out here. It's well to the north. Even our next system behind it, all that dry air is very, very well to the north. These systems are well insulated from it. And as you can see in time, as we go through July 3rd and July 4th, yeah, these two systems, literally the second system right on the heels. There will be some dry air that tries to wrap around, but very little success until you get to the tail end of the second system where you'll actually get mid-layer dry air and all this tremendous dust. But look what's waiting out here, a big moist layer with our intertropical convergence zone and then our systems heading towards the Western Caribbean and eventually the Gulf. You see that Gulf surge here. This is the GFS model, by the way, and look at that. We continue with tremendous activity. Look at this big tropical wave by July 15th. And looking over to our European model is a bit more stronger with the Saharan dust to the north. In fact, it's kind of surrounded Beryl to the northwest and the northeast. I still don't think the dust is really going to wrap into this system. However, it seems pretty insulated. Our second system, though, the European does a number with the dust. Look at this, the Saharan dust surrounding our second system and really kind of choking it off at one point here towards July 5th. And then as we get into the Gulf here with our Beryl, we will have some dry air to contend with as well. So hence, towards the end of the forecast period there, that's why we see a little bit of a downtick in the intensity. And you see there is our European models showing our second system weakening and kind of heading towards the southern part of the Caribbean, away from this dust, so to speak, as this high pressure really entrenches this dust here across the main development region of the Atlantic. And look at a big tropical wave near the Cape Verde Islands. Yeah, but it's got a lot of dust to contend with here. There's another tropical wave by July 9th. And let's take a look week by week with some of our precipitation means. Don't forget, if you made it this far, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, bell notification. As I said earlier in the video, smash that like button, question or comment. As we continue here with our precipitation here, as we head through the following week into the first week of July, you can see out here the main development region really ticking up here. Oh, this is our last one of this model run. Let's go to the 6C here. As we go through the rest of the forecasts here through mid-July, you can essentially see we're going to see a major uptick in tropical wave action, and that just fills in here towards the first week of August. Heading towards middle August here, you can see on our last frame quite a bit in the way of activity. So let's head over to our CANSIPS model here for July. You can see this model is still going crazy, even up the U.S. East Coast, the Gulf, the Caribbean, and the main development region. Just insane. Into August, it just gets worse here. MDR, the intertropical convergence zone, bounces further north as is expected. September's gone really nuts here across the Caribbean and the Gulf, out by the Cape Verde Islands as well. And as we get into October, into November, we still could be talking about named storms, even deep into December. So the Caribbean here for our European model, there's Invest 94L over there, potentially developing, but there is our stripe of precipitation moving right over Jamaica, right around the 3rd, 4th, and 5th there, upwards of 150 to 200 millimeters. You can see the path here right towards the northern Yucatan and eastern Mexico here, so these areas could be getting upwards of 6 to 12 inches of rain pretty easily. Then as we head to the eastern Caribbean, there is the path of Beryl, and then right behind it, potentially, possibly Chris. We'll have to watch it here, but look at this. In those areas of landfall, anywhere from 125 to 200 millimeters. Yeah, we're easily talking 6 to 12 inches of rain here. Severe weather outlook for your Sunday, it's going to be predominantly here across parts of the mid-Atlantic, all the way up into New England and the Northeast here. So yeah, some of the biggest cities, biggest population centers Sunday, damaging wind, large hail, isolated tornadoes. And then for Monday, that shifts towards the northern plains. You can see, a damaging wind, large hail, and tornado threat will be there as well. So as we look at our HWRF future radar here, you can see this evening we're still going to be dealing with strong thunderstorms across the Northeast, especially northeastern Pennsylvania, parts of New England here. Some showers and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast here, which will help provide you with some of that relief from the heat. But watch this. As we go throughout the overnight hours, a lot of this kind of weakens a little bit. And here into the Northeast, you could have another round of thunderstorms here across parts of upstate New York, eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey. This is towards 2 a.m. Sunday morning. And this continues to push towards the east. But look at this. Another resurgence. Could we have some strong thunderstorms approaching on 6 a.m. here across Maryland, West Virginia, and extreme southern Pennsylvania? That threat continues to bubble up towards 10 a.m. We could actually have some severe weather breaking out across eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey as we head towards 10 a.m. to noon tomorrow. Hudson Valley, Catskills, Poconos, that shifts to the east towards 5 p.m. And yeah, we could have another let me just back that up just a little. A strong thunderstorm line coming through New York City about 9 p.m. Philadelphia, Boston, Hartford, these areas all the way down to D.C. Don't rule out some of these stronger storms out on Long Island through 11 p.m. in eastern New Jersey as well. That pushes out over the Atlantic, and then we're just left with showers and thunderstorms off the Florida coast here, and up here into the Midwest. We'll continue with that severe weather threat heading on into Monday. All right, so picking up here where our HRRR model left off as we head throughout the week, Monday. Let's get to Monday here. High pressure building in across the east. You know it because it's Monday. It's time to go back to work, so the weather's going to get real nice. That front stalled out here into parts of the southeast. Will continue to focus that tropical moisture. We'll also be looking at a severe weather outbreak across the northern plains here. And as we continue out in time, you can see through Tuesday and Wednesday, high pressure dominates the east. We will be looking at a severe weather here along this frontal boundary. Tropical moisture continuing here across parts of the southeast, bringing you some of those beneficial rains and cool down. But here towards the 3rd into the 4th, you can see this area of showers and thunderstorms across the Ohio Valley into the northeast and out here into the plains. Tropical moisture lingering here into the southeast. And that's where we're just going to continue to watch for those showers and thunderstorms. As we continue to go out here in time, the European model is a little more optimistic for parts of the Ohio Valley into the northeast. We'll have to keep an eye on this here, because, some of the models are still producing showers and thunderstorms up here. And this returns on the 5th. You can see this low pressure moving right up here through the Great Lakes. A cold front moving across the lakes and the northeast with shower and thunderstorm activity. That pushes towards the 6th into the 7th into New England. But we're kind of stuck with one of these upper level low kind of things. And that's going to pinwheel these low pressure systems down. Yeah, I know it's a lot of you have a long weekend, and unfortunately, it looks like a lot of rain and thunderstorms, and that just continues all the way through July 9th here. You can kind of see there's a trough hanging out here. Lots of tropical moisture here across the southeast. So if we take a look at our precipitation amounts here on our European model, you can see lots here in upstate New York, Pennsylvania, New England, as we head through the rest of the weekend into Monday. So lots of shower and storm action here. We'll continue to watch here. Florida as well. Up to an inch, inch and a half, 2 inches, and 2 to 4 inches up here with the severe weather into parts of the Midwest. And then towards July 4th, the Ohio Valley into the northeast. Look at this feature down in through parts just south of Texas here. It's going to be close with our tropical systems as we look ahead to potentially Beryl down here. So watch out. So for the GFS, what is the precipitation looking like, especially here in the tropics? You can see there across the northeast Ohio Valley, storms continuing, a half to 3/4 of an inch up to an inch in some areas. That continues through July 4th and beyond. But here showing up on our GFS, look at this across the Western Gulf. There's a hint that our second push here across the tropics, we could have something heading into the Western Gulf. That is Beryl. So we get up here into Canada. Yeah, we're dealing with that system as well, the same system that's in the United States, the northeast here across Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. Showers and thunderstorms continuing Sunday into Monday. High pressure builds in Monday, though, later Monday. We have an area of low pressure that'll be ejecting from the plains of the United States here, dragging cold front all the way up into Ontario here. That could bring some severe weather. Very unsettled out in the western provinces here. Let's just back that up just a second here. There we go. As we head through the 3rd into the 4th, you can see that system really hanging out across Quebec and New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. That finally moving out by the 5th into the 6th. When we do start to get these impulses, this upper level low kicking some disturbances here that could bring some strong thunderstorms across southern Ontario and Quebec. We've had quite a severe weather season across these areas. And then look at as we head towards the 9th, you can see things actually clearing out across much of Canada. For your Canadian precipitation here, it's southeast Canada and the southern tier part of the provinces here that are going to see the most rainfall. Severe weather out here in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and southern Ontario and Quebec. Over here, we could be looking at anywhere from 60 to 100 millimeters of rain, solid 2.5 to 4 inches. And seriously, what do we have to talk about here in the Western Pacific and the Eastern Pacific for that matter? There is a little area out here. It's very low off the Mexican coastline. Not really looking at too much here. However, as we go out to the Western Pacific, is there really anything to talk about other than the big synoptic storms that are producing a lot of monsoon moisture this time of year? Not really much to talk about here. We have the intertropical convergence zone, but none of these waves seem to produce anything major as we go out here in time. It just doesn't look like a tropical season out here other than the monsoon. And yeah, here into the Eastern Pacific towards the 3rd and the 4th. Could we have a little spin up here? It's possible, but you know, this season is almost non-existent for the tropical hurricane season in the Eastern Pacific. I got plenty more weather for you in just a moment, but take a look at my affiliate. Do you want some awesome maps? Check this out.
I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code.
So if we take a look at temperatures here over the next several days, you can see there's going to be a big cool down here across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Ohio Valley into the 70s. But heat is on here along the Gulf Coast and the Mid-Atlantic states here as we head into your Sunday and into Monday. Look at this, 70s all the way down into parts of Kentucky, the Appalachians here, all the way through New England, northern Midwest, even some cool down here into the Carolinas. But look at triple-digit heat here in Texas into Tuesday. That heat is going to begin to build towards Ohio and eventually Pennsylvania and the rest of the Northeast as we get towards July 3rd, ever so closely to July 4th here. Look at this, mid-90s here across parts of the Ohio Valley. Into Thursday, this heat is just going to continue to be a raging inferno across Texas. That's going to spread east. Look at some areas near Virginia and North Carolina could be approaching 100 degrees. And as we head into Friday, a little bit of a cool down up here into the 80s across parts of the Great Lakes. Extended forecast for my hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton, Upper Susquehanna River Valley of New York and Pennsylvania. Yeah, we can see still some showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. They'll be more scattered than on Saturday, heading up towards the upper 80s. Into Monday, a cool down, windy conditions prevail from Sunday into Monday. Gusty winds up to 30 miles an hour. Low 70s, Tuesday and Wednesday, sunny and warmer. And look at that, July 4th, showers and thunderstorms likely up towards 90. As always, thank you for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Also, don't forget to join me on Facebook at MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Twitter at Weather Eastern. Don't forget, it's MeteoMark.com. And don't forget, If you want to send me a coffee, there is a link, Super Thanks. You can smash that Super Thanks button or my PayPal link in the description down below. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Thanks everyone. Share that video. Subscribe if you haven't. Smash that like button.